Paper Mario was the second RPG I ever played as a kid, the first being Pokemon. In fact, back then, I didn't even know that RPG was a game genre. I thought that turn-based combat was something that Pokemon did that Mario copied for one game. And I mean, can you blame me? The Nintendo 64 got like, what? 2 turn-based RPGs that weren't Pokemon? You know, it got Paper Mario, and then it got, well, you know... Ladies and gentlemen, I haven't done one of these in a long time, but get ready for a nostalgia review of Paper Mario. Paper Mario introduces its story and gimmick with one fell swoop in its intro. It opens like a storybook, with 3D looking landscapes but 2D cardboard cutout looking characters. Up in Star Haven, not heaven, we see Star Raw protected by 7 guardian star spirits. Unfortunately for them, someone taped Kammy Koopa to one of the pages of the storybook, allowing Bowser to steal the thing and trap the 7 star spirits inside playing cards. How very Yu-Gi-Oh of him. Because of this, new stars can no longer rise to the sky and grant people wishes. And also, Bowser is invincible, so, you know. That's a problem. And you might have noticed that this game is a little, 2D. It was a stylistic choice, and one that modern gamers might take for granted, but was a bold choice for a Nintendo 64 game. You see, back in those days, 3D was all the rage. Everything, and I mean everything, had to transition from 2D to 3D. Even canceled games like the Earthbound sequel were going to be in 3D. Now, the Sony PlayStation had plenty of 2D games, and the Sega Saturn was a 2D powerhouse, but the Nintendo 64 was dead set on being almost exclusively 3D. Ironically, considering the design of the controller, one position for 3D games and one position for 2D games. Paper Mario, on the other hand, used 2D as a gimmick and wore that gimmick on its sleeve. I think it serves to age it well. While most other N64 games probably look pretty bad to most gamers who don't have nostalgia for them, Paper Mario holds up graphically. Once starting a new save file, the game begins with Mario and Luigi getting an invitation from Princess Peach to come to her castle for a party. We make our way to Peach's castle where, believe it or not, an actual party is taking place. Mario walks up to Peach and lo and behold, Bowser crashes the party and raises Peach's castle up into the sky using his own. Bowser challenges Mario to a fight. He uses the Star Rod to make himself invincible and toss Mario out of the castle. And so begins the prologue. Mario falls all the way to the ground, but luckily, being made out of paper, he's able to survive the fall. The Star Spirits, though trapped inside of their cards, are able to telekinetically extend their powers just enough to save what little life Mario has left. Enter Goombaria, stage right. She immediately recognizes Mario and has a knipsh. While knocked out, Mario has a vision of Eldstar telling him to come to Shooting Star Summit, the place where the Star Spirits are strong enough to really talk to Mario. Once the vision is over, Mario awakens to discover a Goomba family has resuscitated him. Remember how there was a neutral Lakitu in Super Mario 64? Paper Mario takes that concept to the next level. There's neutral Lakitus, Goombas, Koopas. In this game, there's no such thing as an all good or evil species of beings. Each individual is their own person, choosing who they side with. Mario gets acquainted with the family and accidentally falls down where there was supposed to be a balcony. There's a lot of falling in this game. To get back, Mario has to get rid of a block in his way. He's gotta find the hammer. Once he does, some strange creature named Junior Troopa challenges him to a fight. Not because he's evil, just because he wants to prove he's as strong as Mario. And so is introduced the mechanics of the gameplay. Mario has 2 basic attacks, jump and hammer, doing 1 damage each. He can also use items, run away, or do nothing. Pretty simple stuff. Mario and his enemy take turns attacking until one or the other runs out of HP. After defeating Junior Troopa, Mario returns to the Goomba family, where Goombario insists he go on Mario's adventure with him, and Goompapa teaches him how to use badges. This is where Paper Mario starts to differentiate itself and yet also makes itself similar to other RPGs. There are 3 basic stats: HP, FP, and BP. BP stands for badge points. Badges are this game's versions of magic spells. Each one has its own effect, like giving Mario's attack more power, allowing him to use the same attack multiple times in a single turn, providing extra HP or FP, and so on. Each badge takes up so many badge points. To use these abilities, Mario uses FP, or flower points, this game's version of mana or energy. Mario always has a partner by his side, like Goombario here. Each one has his or her own special ability that uses FP and their own unique basic attack, creating variety the same way Mario's jump and hammer attack do. You see, some enemies can only be attacked in certain ways. For example, if an enemy is flying, there's no way Mario can hit it with his hammer from the ground. Similarly, if there's an enemy with a spike on its head, jumping on it will hurt. Finally, there's one last basic element to Paper Mario's game mechanics: action commands. Mario doesn't get this until a little later in the game, but action commands are how the team uses extra power without using FP. So when you jump on an enemy, you have to hit the A button right before you land on them to do a second jump. With the hammer, you just hold left until you see the big star light up. This is pretty easy, but what's a little more tricky to do is defense action commands. When an enemy attacks you, you have to use the A button just as the attack lands, not right before. So it's different timing from attacking, making it a little difficult to get used to both at the same time. And just like all other RPGs, Mario gets experience from beating enemies, in the form of stars. This is where Paper Mario ends up coming off the most different from other RPGs, because Mario never actually powers up his strength or defense. stats. Rather, when you level up, you have to choose to either increase HP, FP, or BP. After leaving Goombario's house, they head to Shooting Star Summit, where the Star Spirits catch up on what's going on with Bowser and the Star Rod. Basically, Mario has to free each Star Spirit, and once he does, they can open up Star Way for him. At this point, the game cuts to Princess Peach in her castle. She meets the last star that ever got to rise up before Bowser took over, Twink. She gives Twink the item that allows Mario to use action commands. He gives it to Mario, and we move on to Chapter 1 of the game. And so goes the formula of the game. There are 7 chapters, each chapter revolving around freeing one of the 7 Star Spirits. Mario finds a new partner with a new ability, and then uses that partner to beat a boss to free the Star Spirit. And then we cut to Peach and Twink going on a small adventure, sneaking around the castle, finding some piece of helpful info, and then cutting back to Mario for the next chapter. Now, if I'm being honest, there's really not too much more to say about the gameplay of Paper Mario. Every similarity that it has to other RPGs is very simple in comparison, and if I'm being even more honest, unrewarding. You have a team, but it's only ever one partner at a time, greatly reducing strategy potential compared to other RPGs. You level up, but only HP, FP, and BP. You only raise strength by finding new boots and hammers, which there's only 3 of each in total in the game, so that's pretty rare. Usually what makes an RPG really fun for me is how similar in beat it feels to shonen anime, Dragon Ball Z in particular. In most RPGs, like Goku, you have that time of struggle, of training, grinding, but then, once you've powered yourself up, you suddenly get a rush from taking out the majority of enemies in front of you with ease. It's a total power trip, finishing it off by going toe-to-toe with one still worthy opponent of the bunch. In Paper Mario, you never really need to grind, like, ever. At least, I never did. And even if you do, you won't become more powerful or your special attacks become more effective. You simply can endure more or prevent yourself from dying more quickly. The other elements of the game pale in comparison to other RPGs as well. Like, yeah, Paper Mario has side quests, but all they are running around mundane errands for an old Koopa and delivering letters that a paratroopa dropped. In most RPGs, finishing long quest lines give you some big final reward like a special item or ability, but with Paper Mario, you get nothing special at all, just one last star piece. An item used as currency for badges with a particular character. And yeah, Paper Mario has optional bosses, but you don't get a gosh darn thing from beating them. Heck, the main one, the martial art master in Toad Town, doesn't even give you experience for beating him. There are a couple of characters that recognize the fact that you get a diploma for beating him, so you think maybe someone else in the world will give you something once they see that, or maybe an even stronger enemy will challenge you, but no, you just anticlimatically move on with your day. Now I realize this makes it sound like I think Paper Mario is a bad game. After all, every aspect of the game that makes it an RPG is pretty mundane and easy, but there is one thing that Paper Mario has up its sleeve that is its saving grace. I'm talking, of course, about personality, baby. If all this game had going for it were its mechanics, this would be a lost cause. But hot dog are the environments and characters enjoyable. In Chapter 1, you recruit a friendly Koopa and a female Bob-omb rebelling against the Koopa Bros, who are clearly the evil version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They fight you in a Trojan horse-style Bowser contraption that literally isn't even as strong as they are on their own. In Chapter 2, you roam Dry Dry Desert. You have to buy items in a certain order at a shop as a secret code to get information of how to find Mostafa, who teaches you how to find an ancient temple holding a wizard Koopa commanding an army of chain chomps. There's also some poor creature in the desert who you can whack. When you do, the bump on his head becomes an item that heals 25 HP and FP. Unfortunately, it turns out if you keep doing that, he literally just dies. Whoops. Chapter 3, you enter the Forbidden Forest that you can only get through by choosing the right path at every turn. Otherwise, you remain lost forever. Or at least, you end up at the beginning every time. You respond to the request of Boos, who live in a mansion, giving me major Luigi's Mansion vibes. The boss is Tubba Blubba, who became invincible by separating his heart from his body. He takes advantage by literally eating Boos, literally consuming the spirits of the dead. Once the heart returns to the body, he's easy to beat. Interesting message there when you think about it. Chapter 4, naughty little shy guys steal everything from everyone in Toad Town. You have to go invisible using your Boo partner to see where they stash everything. A magical toy box with a world inside of it. This part is so cool because you have to keep going back and forth in and out of the box, bringing the toads that are inside stuff from the outside to get further inside of the toy box. Like getting this toy train from a shop and then dropping it in from outside the toy box so it remains full-sized when you go in. Inside the toy box, you give an obese shy guy a cake that he likes so much, he spazzes out to the point of blasting off all the way up to Peach's castle, which is absolutely hilarious. You find a baby, son? I guess the actual son went out to get milk at some point and left this guy here. You then fight an actual army of Shy Guys, general and all. Chapter 5, you travel to Yoshi Island where you help a fish that can flop around on land find the kid Yoshi she's been babysitting. Then an oversized penguin that can withstand tropical heat helps you get inside a volcano where you wilt fire piranha plants right before the whole place explodes without killing all the inhabitants of the island somehow. Chapter 6, you use magical seeds to open a magical door to a place of talking trees and flowers. The place has been permanently polluted by a sentient cloud who really just wants to block out the sun. Mario fights a Lakitu that pretends to be cool but is just a big softie in reality. He joins Mario and helps him take down Big Cloud. This is one of 3 fights that gave me trouble when I was a kid, but that was before I realized the power of Goombario, who can charge up his attack power as much as he wants to every turn and then do a multi-bonk move where he can bonk as many times as you successfully do the action command. You can pretty much take a whole boss out in one move if you do it right. Also, I didn't lie to you that I didn't need to grind, but there's something called a Crazy Daisy that rewards a crazy amount of experience points every time you defeat it. This makes the game more fun because there's a badge where if you're strong enough, you automatically defeat an enemy weaker than you without having to fight it. Earthbound vibes much? Chapter 7, Mario travels to Penguin Village where he partakes in a false alarm murder mystery before traveling to the place where star children rise from. And then finally to an ice castle where he has to solve puzzles to get to the boss. The puzzles are mildly interesting, but the castle feels desolate and just not very fun to travel through. There are enemies that disguise themselves as Mario's partners and you're supposed to figure out which one is which, but it's always obvious. So yeah, Paper Mario is dripping with atmosphere and personality, and it honestly makes up for how mundane the gameplay can be. And let's be real here, it is a game made for children, so it makes sense that it would play like a child's first RPG. That's what it's intended to be. I tell you what though, the ending? It gets pretty epic. Once you've freed all the Star Spirits, you take Star Road up to Star Haven where the Star Spirits lend you the power of the Star Beam, which drains the Star Rod of its power when Bowser uses it. You then take the Starship up to Bowser's Castle. New drinking game. Take a shot every time I say star. Have fun in the ER. Bowser's Castle is badass. It basically looks like a dungeon inside of hell, reminding me a lot of the last world in Super Mario Bros. 3 now that I think about it. There are 3 talking Bowser head doors you have to deal with to progress. The first 2 force you to do riddles / solve puzzles, but the third one challenges you to a rematch. He says if you can beat the Koopa Bros again, you can go ahead. Oh yeah, those guys are my favorite characters in the whole game. So we get started with our fight and... oh, what the heck, man? Freaking Junior Troopa cock blocking what's potentially the best fight in the whole gosh darn game. So you beat stupid Troopa one last time and make your way all the way to Bowser. We come full circle with the final battle, this time beating Bowser with ease using the Star Beam. Bowser retreats with Peach. We follow him up to the top where we find a contraption Kammy Koopa created that makes Bowser more powerful than before. So powerful that even the Star Beam doesn't work on him anymore. And so all hope is lost. Or is it? I mean, obviously not. It's a story made in Japan for children in the early 2000s. How could the day not be saved by the power of friendship? But this isn't just some last-minute Yu-Gi-Oh! Heart of the Cards. The power of friendship transcends the power of magic bullshit. Twink gets into a fight with Kammy, and as he does, the creatures of the world begin to pray for peace. It makes sense. It's already been established in game that stars receive power through wishes, and what other way for a star to grant this wish than to help defeat Bowser? After defeating Kammy, the Star Spirits begin transferring the power of prayer into Mario. Does that make them vampires? Like if stars get their powers from the prayers of people, does that make them spiritual vampires? What if Jesus was a vampire? Would that make communion the first vampire ritual? I feel like somebody should turn that into a book or a weird Tom Cruise movie. Having been converted into a spiritual vampire, Mario gains the power to break Bowser's invincibility. An awesome battle ensues, ending with Kammy's contraption and Bowser's castle blowing up. The Star Spirits whisk Peach's castle, Mario, and his friends away to safety. Everyone has their final words, Peach throws another party, and the credits roll. Though the game may be quite old, the 2D aesthetic helps hide its age, and the simplicity of the game helps prevent the mechanics from being outdated. Now, having said that, however... What? Nothing. I was just waiting for you so we could do the Zelda 2 review together.
Meow. Meow, meow.
Oh yeah? Who's gonna make me? Oh shit, okay, well you'll never take me alive!
Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow.
If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you're gonna get.
Meow. Meow, meow, meow.
Pina Colada uses bribe.
Meow, 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 meow.
Adam uses gun. It's a misfire. Pina Colada uses tackle. It's a hit. Adam uses pose. Embarrassment lowers defense.
Meow, 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 meow.
Adam angry. He uses retaliation. Direct hit. Pina Colada uses rage.
Meow.
Rage is building. Adam uses punch. It's a hit. Rage has reached a fever pitch.
Meow, 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 meow. Well.